underway here at AMI Park. This is round 2 of the NZRL National Premiership. Canterbury Bulls with Waikato the ball. Fairly similar jerseys, but running. Team with the ball now, advancing to the right of your screen. That's Waikato. Lewis Brown, Richie Barnett. Really happy to be bringing this grassroots rugby league coverage here on Sky Sports 2. Remember, Akarana and Counties will be live straight after us at 4 p.m. So we've got a really good afternoon of local rugby league. It's Kingy. Short ball on to Tairakena. He's been promoted from originally named on the bench. Finds his way into the starting lineup. Huirama is captain. Kingy pumps the ball up high. Tavale under pressure. Does a good job to gobble that up. It's a good start there by Waikato, Richard, just getting those nerves out of the way.
Yeah, the nerves, but also the sequence of play. It's nice that they've shifted the ball, went through the middle, then they shifted it left and shifted it right, so they're not sort of getting bogged down with the wrestle from the ball. So that's a very, very good start there from Waikato.
Nila Leo might have got away with a little fumble there, not picked up there by the referee. So working their way out of the 30-metre mark, they'll advance up 35 into their own half. Come to the left-hand side. Yope Tangithaki Bao. Tackled there by Dennis and also Kingy. Defending on the right edge. This kick goes straight down to Dwayne Sykes, who's replaced Damien Darlington, one of the players that got season-ending injuries last week. With a fractured ankle, so he's out for the next 3 months, along with Pawhare Brown, one of their back rowers. It must be a real difficult thing to try and cope with, Louis, especially early on, not just in the game, but in a tournament when you get a couple of key guys go down.
Yeah, it really is, you know, and especially key positions like fullback. But once again, it sort of gives another opportunity for someone to come in through to get opportunity this week, as we see Waikato get a penalty for holding down in the ruck.
It's Te Rongopai Murray. Has spent a bit of time in the NRL systems with the juniors, Titans and the Tigers, recently back in New Zealand. And the MO on him is that if he's got a little bit of space, then it's pretty much game over. He is fast. That'll be whether his halves and his team can put him in a position to strike for Waikato. Good field position now, just approaching the 20-metre mark. Inside ball from Kingy. Back into Reihana Tairakena. Jordan Tairakena's on the other side of the field in jersey number 4. So operating on both edges. Good defence there by Canterbury. Ulon Mutira in 13. Will be playing in the middle, but listed as a front row as Kingy. Good weight on that kick. Ilalio, a lot of work to do. He's a big unit, but he can't get out of the end goal. Back-to-back sets coming for Waikato.
Certainly that, again, their variation in their attack is superb. They're moving the ball to the 50 and they're shifting it wide. They're keeping their defence guessing a lot. And I like the fact that they target that blind side with a nice little kick. It's very nice, Louis.
Yeah, well, I felt on that set there that the Waikato team was really getting over the advantage line on each carry. I believe Canterbury's probably going to get their line a bit more and meet the Waikato team on the advantage line more.
So it is a good structured start for Waikato. 4 minutes into the game, they've dominated a lot of possession. Now this will be their second strike. Trying to crack this Canterbury line. Karina waiting in a dummy half. Tahiho high up Mosen. Just a little bit closer, still on this right side of the field. So a lot of the attack on a little bit disjointed. There's Watene, another player listed off the bench, gets promoted to the starting lineup. Kingy, short ball. Well read by the Canterbury middles, right in front out of the sticks. Kingy on the right side again, another well-weighted kick, and a lot of work to do for Tovale, but a better outcome there for Canterbury.
Yeah, they really needed to it was a nice little depth kick through from Darren Kingy, but I thought the chase was a bit slow to get it there and really seal another repeat set. Something they've got to really improve on, Louis.
Yeah, really let them off the hook there. I really think, like you said, Rich, a real good kick from Kingy. The middle sort of missed the kick there and really had a chance to keep Canterbury with a restart.
Canterbury team burning up a little bit of gas here in the early exchanges with a lot of defence, but now they push it to their left edge, and there's a big, strong runner. Ila Leo busts out of a couple of tackles, so they're back into Waikato territory. This is last tackle. Positive outcome here for the Bulls. Have got themselves out of a bit of trouble, but not the best pass out of dummy half. Made a bit of work for Sepuloni to get the kick. Double play Murray. Deal with a lot of pressure on that tape.
Really quite surprised with that kick, to be honest. I thought the depth, particularly with the wind in favour of the Canterbury Bulls, that it should have gone deep and really put them under the pump.
Yeah, they could have put it a lot deeper there. Last week, Canterbury did have a lot of problems with the kicking game, and I would have thought this week they would have worked on that. But both teams, I'm really impressed with their handling. Last week, they both struggled with the execution and their handling early on in the sets.
There's a strong breeze, as I mentioned at the kickoff, behind Canterbury, and it's pushing towards the left-hand corner if you're on the Canterbury side. So it'll be interesting to see whether they utilise that here in this first half as a weapon. A lot of the game now has been played at the middle of the park.
Just sort of seen something in the light there. Dwayne Sykes, the Tavali struggled with that. The sun that's beaming in his eye as that fullback. As they've got the wind, they've also got the sunlight to contend with.
Tangithaki Bao pokes his head through the line. Both sides playing a lot of football, and that's a nice pass there by Campbell. He finds his winger, who does all the rest of the work. Leaves 3 Waikato players in his wake. And Ben Ilaleo, off the back of a beautiful pass by a player that's been talked up in the pre-game, Brad Campbell, Canterbury scored first.
Yeah, great work there from Brad Campbell. Eyes up on the short side, 3-on-2. Great ball into the winger, and the rest is history. Brad Campbell, only 19 years of age, but really playing mature footy there.
Isn't that a fantastic ball by Brad? And the big unit in Lealio scored last week, and again he scores with his powerful body. Look at this pass. Exceptional for a young kid to see that vision and take the option with an intercept and play. What a start.
Yeah, he's really impressed me last week, Brad Campbell, just with his kicking game. You know, he's only 19, and he's really working this team around the park, and he's one of the main reasons that they got back in the game last week. And early on in the game, just then, he's recognised the 3-on-2. He's got the overcall, and he's put it straight on the chest.
He's got a few very high impact, talented players to work with, but it's utilising them to the max. So what's going to get Canterbury a long way towards winning this game? Maxwell doesn't make any mistakes there with the conversion, so 6-0 is the scoreline. As far as rugby league fundamentals go, man, that was really, really nice.
Yeah. Great ball from the hooker too, eyes up footy into Campbell, and Campbell for great ball to the winger. And not an easy finish for the winger either, Alalelo, and too big, too strong.
Great thing about coming onto the ball in most halves is to come hard at the line and really put the defence under pressure and make those indecisions at times. And that was a perfect example on that left channel.
It was an impressive counter punch there by Canterbury, who've had to do a lot of defending in the first 9 minutes of the game. Was for Waikato. And they got a bit of shock treatment last week, and again they get stunned by Canterbury, even though they've dominated a lot of the early exchanges. Just showing the quality of this Canterbury team and the confidence they have in their young halfback. This ball played right at the line. Mansoni takes the tackle. Just getting a sense that the confidence starting to grow now with Canterbury. Campbell again, opting to use the guns he's got on his left-hand side. Taufua. This is the final tackle. Ilalio waiting at a dummy half. Waikato will do a better job there to stop the threat. Canterbury, they shift from one side of the field all the way to the other. Well, the threat, they might have stopped it on the fourth tackle, but they can't stop it on the fifth and final. Tauvale sinks up and scores Canterbury's second try.
It's just magic stuff, isn't it, from the Bulls, how they just pierced on the left-hand side, good width of play, and then expose again by going to the middle and then fire a shot on the right. It looks like the defence for the Waikato side, they're coming in, but look at this, just the length of pass, exposing on the right. They look like they were short in numbers. They came across, but they're just too short to come across. A nice little pass inside to their fullback, Tavali. Great work there, back-to-back tries for the Bulls.
A great link of play there from Campbell to Supoloni. Just great balls out in front into Sony, who broke the line, their little dummy, and then all like good fullbacks, like you said, Rich, Tavale, backing back up on the inside.
You mentioned that word confidence for this Canterbury team. Running it when you're 40 metres out on the fifth. It shows a team that are backing themselves, but have also been given the licence to go out and play what's in front of them.
I think there's a lot of smarts in this team, and I mean, you've got to play to your strengths, and their forwards have certainly got that, but the width of pass and just, I think the game has changed now with the 3 or 4 hit-ups, 5 for a kick now, isn't it, Lewis Brown? To then move the ball like we've seen with Melbourne, who are so good at doing that, to peel it up, move to the sides, change direction, play with speed. Yeah,
I just felt like in that set there, to move the ball in their own half, you know, on this right-hand side of the Waikato defence, they're probably a little bit tight, and there's just easy yards down there to get some movement.
It's just going to show that both edges of this Waikato defensive line have to be alert at all times. This is a team that have weapons on both sides, and they do not hesitate to use them. Again, Miss Combs there. Brad Campbell in the combination with Tangi Thakibao has been very effective, but that occasion, that's an error. Should be much relief for the Waikato team.
Certainly on this left edge, they're targeting the right edge of Waikato at the moment. There is opportunities. They are tight, as you mentioned, Lewis Brown, on that right side for the Waikato side, and you can see that there was some great options there. And I'm sure they'll go back to that place again, and once they exploit that, they'll go to the right side and see if they can get some joy there.
So it's Rana Dennis. We'll start the set 40 metres away from the Canterbury line. They have shown once they get into a decent position, the short kicking game of Darren Kingi has been effective. Huirama, standout performer for Waikato for many years now. His high work rate. To Tiripi Parangi was excellent for Waikato in the 2017 Premiership competition, which saw Waikato make their way all the way to the final, which is incredible, Rich, considering this was a team just the year before was playing in the championship. So from promotion to GF, it's Kingi, it's deep in goals here. It's another very good job. So repeat set with this Waikato team trying to build pressure against Canterbury.
Yeah, Darren Kingi's got the ball on a string today. Luckily there, just a little bit of a touch from the Canterbury Bulls player, and another repeat set.
Certainly a real good lesson, I think, for the Waikato side is that tempo. They can really change direction and get on the front foot quick and play real speed football. I think it's a real asset to their side. 2 repeat sets already in this first half, and then possibly a third too, so nice work there from Waikato.
So Waikato will mount another raid on the Canterbury line. With Kingi just drifting from side to side. We've seen him also put in a nice short-range kick on the left-hand side. It's primarily where Hayden Kaiden is operating, and they'll go that side. haul high on Mosen. Tries to spin out of a couple of tackles, but he's collected. 10 metres away. Still a few tackles. Huirama, short ball to Parangi. Just knocks off the shoulder, so it's a little bit of pressure that they were mounting on Canterbury has been released.
Yeah, Canterbury will take a lot of confidence. You know, the first 15 minutes, Waikato have really been down in their half, and they've defended their team well. 2 repeat sets they've had, and once we see again another penalty for Canterbury to get themselves out, a little pity back there.
Unfortunately for Waikato, this is what they wanted to avoid. He just gifts Canterbury another big chance to turn territory and possession into some points. They'll start this here on the halfway mark. It's a tricky battle there between Brad Campbell, young halfback from the West Coast here for Canterbury, against his opposite, Hayden Kairena. So Brad Campbell, 19. It feels as though Hayden Kairena has been playing for the Waikato team for about 19 years.
Old koro of the Waikato.
He's been around for a long time. He's been a real stalwart of Waikato Rugby League and the City Tigers Club. It's Campbell. Alex Todd. This is midfield, and they're shifting it out to the right-hand side. Tovale, beautiful footwork and shows a bit of strength as well. He'll score his second try of the match, really putting Canterbury in a commanding position.
Well, they're all sorts on the edges, aren't they, defensively? A little slip over there from one of the Waikato players, but they're getting exposed on the edges completely. They're making it look too easy, the Bulls. And a third try in a row. Troubling times there for the Waikato side.
Yeah, great play there from Baxendale. Baxendale's been around for a while, and he plays like another half in the middle there, and a great drop-off play there by Supaloni, and hits Tavale out on a nice little ball, and too big, too strong once again, and a nice fend.
Jeez, I like it. A lot to like about this Tovale. Seen the footwork, we've seen also that awareness of when to inject himself in the line on his first try. It's 16-0 now, Canterbury. Only 18 minutes into the game. James Baxendale going back to when Canterbury were national champions back in 2014. He was part of the New Zealand residents team. Lines up this conversion. He's been perfect so far, but this will be the trickiest conversion opportunity. It's close to 10 metres from the sideline on the right-hand side. Lines it up. And that is away. So first blemish on his record, but he shouldn't be too fast because Canterbury are cruising at the moment. 16-0 up. This round 2 matchup, the NZRL National Premiership. Canterbury ahead over Waikato. Is Hayden Kairena up. Mentioned about his experience. Pamainu Huirama is the captain in jersey 13. There are a lot of changes, not just within their last matchup, but also their team that made it all the way through to the grand final. Probably their 2 best performing players of the tournament, Aaron Jolie, who was the fullback, and Dana Ratu, their 80-minute front row forward, no longer part of the squad this year. They've both moved over to Australia. So as even before the tournament started, big change for Morgan Kutia and this Waikato team.
Waikato are awfully condensed in their defence, and it's just giving the option for the Bulls to really shift that ball to the edges. They've just got to spread out a little bit more and make them go through the middle.
It's 3 errors there for Canterbury. If you want to be hypercritical about their performance, they've showed a lot of good attributes to their gameplay, but if anything, that'd probably be the only little blemish on their record at the moment. It's just a bit loose with the ball.
Yeah, last week they sort of had a lot of problems with the execution, their ball handling. So Coach Umatangi will not be quite happy with that, but something to work on. And, you know, this team keeps growing in confidence, especially on this left-hand side here, especially in the yardage.
I think they've gone in the mindset, guys, about Morgan Kutia, about kind of condense that defence so they can stop that ruck speed from happening. But unfortunately, with the ball movement from the Bulls, they're playing a different style of game, so I've just got to adjust.
It's a good carry, quick play of the ball by Edu Kepa. As Parangi offloads the ball. This is where Waikato was so dangerous in 2017. Unpredictable play. Malcolm Noda's very speedy hooker. Played a lot of ruck plays. Haven't really had the chance to really express that area of their game as Kepa gets his second hit up of the match. Oh, sorry, of this set. Malcolm Noda bumps out into the left-hand side, so starting to build up a bit of momentum on Waikato. Noda dummies right. They'll go left, another short, well-weighted kick. Can the defenders keep them in goal? They can. So this part of the game for Waikato, which is a big positive, has been effective.
Yeah, they've been really good with their drop-off plays, really working over that middle, then going to the edges. And once again, we see a nice little kick in there to get a repeat set. They've had about 3 now, and it'll be sucking the juice out of the big Canterbury forwards.
I'd really like to see Dwayne Sykes come into the play more. We've seen those little tip-ons that we've seen in the front, but I'd like to see a sweeping fullback come in with a bit more speed, just to work around these big forwards of the Bulls.
Speaking of big, Dale Verstappen. Can't miss him. Jersey 17 gets his first taste, and Edu Kepa really active since he's made his way from the bench onto the field. 20 metres out in front of the post. Waikato had a decent amount of possession. They've had some very nice touches, especially their short kicking game. Noda is able to get the ball away. Just starting to get the sense that they're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Waikato, they draw a penalty. Baxendale.
You've got to move quicker than that, mate. Hang on, Malcolm. Wait till I get back on the line. Thanks, mate.
So Noda, they don't really muck around. They get straight back into it. They go straight back to the biggest bloke on the field. Dale Verstappen, couple of metres away. Noda, short ball. Well read there by Canterbury.
Release, fellas. Get square, Toddy.
3 defenders in there. Stop Huirama in his tracks. Well, at a dummy half wasn't the best. There's Kairena. There's those second plays, drop-off plays, and Richie Barnett. You called it. You asked for a bit more injection from Dwayne Sykes. There you go.
Well, that was exquisite football, isn't it? The fact that they do move the ball, they have variation, but the ceiling point for me was having a hard runner come on the end of something that had purpose about it.
Yeah, they look like the last few sets they've really been persisting with that drop-off play, getting at the tight Canterbury forwards, and after a few sets on the line there, they just can't put up with it. And as we see here, Karina with a nice acceleration drop-off ball, inside ball to Sykes, and just great finish there.
It's Tahi Hohai and Mawson. Again, it's making a good situation out of a bad pass, but going back again to 2017, where that was the winning ingredients, that's one of the main reasons why they knocked over the Counties Manukau Stingrays in the last round to earn their way a grand final spot.
You're going to stop looking in that rear vision mirror, Tarihi.
Mate, might not have to now because they're on the board, so when you're looking at 16-0 down, you're looking for positives.
To be honest, they needed to convert such great opportunities with those 3 repeat sets. They really need to convert, and what a way to do it.
It'd be a big positive there for Hayden Cardinal, Morgan Kutia and the Waikato team. 25 minutes into the first half. Right in front, it's 6 points now for Waikato.
So Louis Brown, we look at what the Waikato side are doing defensively. They've got to be better. How do they do that?
Yeah, I think they've got to sort of spread out a bit more. They're very condensed in the ruck. I think, like you said earlier, Rich, that they're really trying to nullify that middle of the Canterbury Bulls. But earlier on in this half, the Canterbury Bulls have been finding very easy yards. And if they can sort of spread out a bit more, that four-man pull the post a bit more to be able to slow the ruck down and also slow those edges down, they'll find themselves back in the game.
I guess it's an understandable tactic by the coaching staff of Waikato when you have a look at the size of this Canterbury team, that you want to bolster up the middle, but they weren't probably counting on them being so lethal on the edges as well. Lead him up. Kepa, another strong charge, finds his front. Still a couple of metres inside their half. Kairena up. Tahiho high and Mawson. His offload was the one that put Sykes over the line. Is Malcolm Noda. Idea was right, execution just a little bit off.
Well, nice again, that play, although it wasn't executed well, but the push around the player with the ball is a lot better, takes the focus of the defence away, but there's good variation again that we said before. This was the right option, unfortunately just didn't fall in the right hands. And again, they've got to just keep trying. They just got to keep trying those options.
Yeah, really impressed with Parangi and Takoi, their footwork. They really get in between defenders and really creating that fast play the ball. And Noda, he's caused a bit of trouble at a dummy half so far.
The last time this happened, and Canterbury were gifted a penalty and an easy track into the Waikato half. They scored. Let's see if those adjustments have been made at the defensive end. The boys, Lewis Brown and Richie Barnett, both called just for this Waikato team to not be so condensed in the middle of the field. It's just making it a little bit too easy for Canterbury to operate on both sides. And there's a strong run there by Ruben Te Amo.
From the mighty Riccarton Knights, mate, my local junior club.
But he dropped the ball.
I'm just noticing here on the right-hand side of the Waikato team that Darren King is actually defending on the wing. I'm not too sure if that's a tactical thing or he's actually carrying an injury. So we've got the centre Dean at three-man and the winger Dean in the centres. So just keep an eye on that.
So what club were you from, sorry, again?
The mighty Riccarton Knights, mate. Had a few great warriors that played for Aaron Whitaker and the great Logan Edwards.
Wow.
Played with both of those men. Fine gentlemen.
It is a very, very proud rugby league town. There's a lot of history, especially in this old stadium. Well, it's got a bit of a facelift, but its bones are very much steeped in rugby league.
Number 6. Quite back. Just on the way. Flop.
A couple of players that have gone Waikato's way. Urabai, Talmor, now a penalty. Staunch defence there on Tahiho high and Mawson. Plenty of defenders there. Baxendale. And Talmor finish off the tackle. Verstappen cuts back against the grain. A penalty against Canterbury, so a little bit more pressure coming on the home team. He'll take a settling tackle. They're 15 metres out with a full deck. Full set. Noda. And a first receiver now. There's the footwork, but he passed it to the wrong. I can say it's because the jerseys look exactly the same. He thought that was his second rower, but unfortunately it was Paul Sony for the other team.
There's a lot of energy for Noda, isn't it? He's just been a live wire around that ruck. And if someone could just push up and be in support, there's a lot of opportunities around that ruck area for the Waikato side. Again, unluckily with the penalties, but fantastic work from Noda.
Yeah, I guess the Canterbury Bulls have really got to start working around their markers, and the A defenders have got to get a bit tighter. The markers have probably got to take a step back, because he's probably the difference at the moment between the two sides. Noda is really getting out, scampering, and causing a lot of trouble.
Penalty after penalty after penalty. You go back and have a chat to you fellas. You have a chat to them. Let's get this game rolling.
Yeah, Noda's trying to turn on Canterbury. One of their major strengths is into weakness is their size, causing a lot of headaches around their ruck area. And you're right, Richie, it's just been a couple of times where he's come out and come up with the right option. He just hasn't had that support there backing him.
Yeah, and that's just a clear case of eyes up and just knowing, recognising first that he is such an important facet to their strike. So whenever he gets the ball in hand, you just make sure that you're pushing up no matter where you are on that paddock.
From the mighty Taniwharau Club in Huntly, whilst we're all giving our clubs a bit of a shout out here, the Waikato Regional Champions once again. Mihi to the whānau, but also to, again, another region very proud of their rugby league. Here's Canterbury on the warpath of green. Roger Taufua. 10 metres out, they push out to their favourite left side, Campbell. Tangitaki ball, better defence there by Waikato. Big adjustments with Kingi making the tackle on their danger man, Tovale. Good kicking game, and Waikato survive. Richie, they opted to go for the short kick, where it's been the hands that have really been doing all the damage for Canterbury.
Yeah, big asset of that side. They look vulnerable on the left-hand side, they look vulnerable on the right. So I'd be looking at probably taking the line on the fifth tackle, a variation to that, and really strike, because they're indecisive on the left edge. The outsides are coming in, the insides are up, so they're all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, going back to the club shout out, I didn't want to get into our Kiwi lineup because then Richie would have jumped in for Otahuhu. Yeah, you guys only had like Mark Graham, Dean Bell, Hugh McGann, Taura Nico, everybody. Strong defensive set there by Canterbury, really forcing Waikato into a bad spot. So that kicked Tovale in the perfect position. So this is a good chance now for Canterbury. First tackle, and they're already in the Waikato half. It's on the back of a strong defensive set. Tahiho higher in his best stop, Will Yao. It's Matt Sony. 3 tackles done. 15 metres away out of dummy half. Oh, ball spills out. Knock on is the call. It was an attempted offload by Cyrus Timor-Latu.
Just a few errors creeping into the Canterbury game here. Obviously, they're creeping up the field very easily with pity backs and that, but they've probably just got to find their points a bit better and get some cleaner ball to the likes of Brad Campbell and Toi Sopolini.
I'm hugely impressed with Marcus Tahiohaya Mawson. He's been fantastic defensively. His charges through the middle being great. And of course, Billy Gudgeon, who's been, again, that player who's got around the paddock. His industrious nature, just sealing the gaps, the glue to the side at the moment.
Waikato shifting the ball. Good. Great tackle there, almost pushing him out. It was Will Taufua. Dana Dennis almost got railroaded outside, but managed to stay in. Sykes. Noted short side play. ID'd the fullback, was in midfield. That's a great kick with a good chase. Little trouble here for Tovale, but he's turned a real bad situation into what could be the best situation for Canterbury, but no. Ben Ilaleo. This drop there, so it's end-to-end action for both teams.
This is the most unusual situation I've ever seen. 3-on-1, and one gets over the line. Tavali, outstanding. He really has played a leading hand in this match.
Fellas, much better in the ruck, both teams.
But awful defence there from the chasing team.
Okay, thanks, mate. Malcolm, hit him, buddy. Ruben, hit him. Out!
The sideline that he had to work with, well, that corridor was that skinny. There's errors happening on both sides now. Crucial stage of the game, 5 minutes before half-time. Neither would really want the opposition. Neither of them will want them to score, but they really are starting to give them opportunities now on both sides.
Yeah, I think with the Canterbury side, they probably crept into to overplaying their hand a little, whereas they probably just need to get back to the basics, and naturally with their shape will probably score points. But at the moment they're sort of trying to push the pass, etc. So look to them to sort of get to their points more and play off their halves.
Hold, go, one.
It's a good quick play the ball.
Stand and square!
Tafua.
Hold, boys, wait. Go, two.
Teams are good.
I'll go to the ruck.
Timoratu and dummy
Down
half.
together! Here's 10, boys. Don't go early, mate. Wait. Locked in. Hold, go.
Here's
Don't lock them.
Takiwaki with this second head up. Some more big charges. Ruben Teamo, jersey 16.
Go forward, no
Mentioned
markers,
a
Malcolm.
lot of times they've got a lot of size. Timolatu out of dummy half. Brushes off 4, 5, 6 across the line. Well, there was no finesse there. It was just all power. And that's just as effective. Fantastic effort there by Cyrus Timolatu. Put the Bulls up to 20-6.
Yeah, put it back to the Ruben Teamo charge. Just charged back fence, running over the advantage line, skittled a few players. And for Timolatu to get out and create havoc, look, beats 1, 2, too powerful, 3, carries them over, and try time.
I think you've been given the script, I think. You said you need to be more direct and charge through the middle. Exactly what they did. Kept it simple, charging through the middle, dominating through that ruck area, and allow players like Timolatu to use his size and strength to barge through.
Yeah, a lot of teams these days, Richie, when you get out to a lead of 16-0, etc., you kind of try to you play your hand over too much, where if you look something like that, just a simple charge, skittled a few players, and then the dummy half, just like all dummy halves, good dummy halves do, eyes up footy, got out and used his strength.
Baxendale's conversion is successful. So it hasn't been all their own way, Canterbury, in the last 10-15 minutes. However, that try there by Cyrus Timolatu puts them way back in a commanding position, 22 points to 6 in the last couple of minutes here of the first half. Gee, Louis, they must have taken you back, mate. You're talking about all those hat-tricks you scored here at this park.
Yeah, it reminded me of myself,
over.
mate. I actually used to wear headgear, so yeah, I've played a few games here. This is where I grew up, mate. Ball boyed many a game here. I was here, I think it was 1991 when the great Canterbury side played Great Britain and actually beat them. So I was here when it was the old Addington Showgrounds.
It is fantastic to really think about all the legends of past years that have represented their regions with so much pride.
Come on, Malcolm, keep coming, mate. Hold on. Go, good.
Canterbury, the 2018 edition, are trying to emulate the same of the past legends. Roger Taufua. Oh, they've got a lot of momentum and charging onto it, but good stiff defence there by Huirama.
Go, 3. Taimanu, you're not there. Off the legs! Go, 4.
Teams are good.
Thanks, mate.
Gotcha, a couple of good defensive stands. Shift out to the right-hand side. Now keep on attacking the short side. Trying to catch Dwayne Sykes out. But that's a good set there by Canterbury. That's a fantastic set. Aggressive with the ball and just as aggressive in defence.
Yeah, great work there from James Baxendale. Eyes up footy, saw it was the 5th tackle. He's a second row, you got to remember, and the skill set of the man. Goal kicking and general play kicking, and a great chase from the boys there and putting them back in there in goal.
I've been impressed, really, with Brad Campbell. His game management's been outstanding. Just looks so comfortable for a young kid. And also, Ruben Tiamo has got to get a tick of approval here. He's been outstanding, just charging through when they needed it most. Louis, you mentioned before, keeping it very simple. He's provided that real go forward that they need.
Yeah, he's come off the bench really well. He was a New Zealand residence player last year, and as he's gone on with his footy, he's really matured, and he's one of the leaders in the side.
So that's 40 minutes done and dusted. First half is over, and the Canterbury Bulls have been very strong. They go into the break with a lead of 22 points to 6. Stick with us here at AMI Park here in Christchurch. We will have highlights of the first half just after the break.
It's half-time, folks.
Half against Waikato, trailing on 6. They do have a bit of an advantage of coming up with a gameplay, of working out a style of football. They really troubled Canterbury in the first half. Plus, as Richie Barnett is mentioning here, the wind behind Waikato, especially with their smart kickers that they have with Hayden Carden and Darren Kingy, could be a very valuable asset for the Waikato team in the second half.
Particularly if it's coming to the left, on your screen, the left side is coming across field. And that's your right foot kicking game there, and both right foot kickers. Darren Kingy, as you mentioned before, Louis Brown, he's defending on the edges, which is probably a good spot. He's tiring in the middle, get him on the edge and keep his attack fresh and ready for to fire some shots.
It's Big Me to you all in from Christchurch Stadium. Richie Barnett, Lewis Brown, Te Ara, he might be. This is the first of the double header. National Premiership Rugby League, round 2. Canterbury. Oh, geez, that's a good run there by Isaac Maliota. He's carried half the Waikato forward pack with him for about 20 metres. Finding a bit of space here on the right-hand side. Big Matt Sony gets the offload. Baxendale goes back and forth. Trying to shut down the players, Noda, but still, ball is alive. It's a lucky break there for Canterbury. Well, lucky in the sense for Waikato that nothing came about that in regards to a try for Canterbury. However, they do get an entire new set at their disposal. Ball deemed to have been knocked on by Waikato.
I've been really impressed with the likes of the bench from the Canterbury Bulls here. You know, you've got Timo Latu, Maliota, Tiamo and Tafo. They've really come on and really made a real impact, and that's what you want from your bench players. So Coach Umatangi will be very happy with that. They've sort of changed the game around the ruck, and it's allowed the hooker to get up and out and make some easy meters around there.
We'll go down, fellas.
Billy Gudgeon,
Go down, fellas.
jersey 12. Go through a lot of work on the defensive end, and he'll be asked to do a bit more here on this set. He's got a nice style about him as Brad Campbell. First time that we've seen him run with the ball, but no, it's played on. It's his first mistake of the match.
He certainly looks very composed, don't you? He's got time with the ball. There's no panic about him. And he's making good decisions. And that was a, you know, in the tackle, the ball can pop out now and then, but I do like the look at this young kid.
Verstappen, who had a bit of impact himself off the bench there for Waikato. Strong tackle there by Cyrus Timolatu. Last try score in the first half. Edu Kepa, he's been excellent off the bench as well for Waikato. Very quick play of the ball. Exactly what Malcolm Noda in at number 9. That's what he wants. Kingy. Shaped the pass right, opted the dummy. Take the tackle. Cardin up. His first snapping. Spins out of one. Gets the offload away.
Toy, you're offside. Toy, you're offside. 10.
Late in the penalty, in the tackle count, it's a penalty.
Doesn't matter, mate. He can't go early.
For Waikato.
Where's your mark, Malcolm?
It's a perfect spot for Waikato.
Get square! Wait, Toy!
Try and mount an attack and really get the... He's built some momentum here early in the second half. Kepa.
Okay, James, get away. One foot on the
back in.
line.
Baxendale and Maliota, the tackle there. Only 5 metres away of Waikato. Huirama, short ball. Kingi, there's a nice line there by Gudgeon. All that good work might come unstuck, might come undone here.
We've been talking about Brad Campbell's a tackle day. Harry's really controlled the team around, but he made a massive tackle there. You know, big man running at a small man, and he's not the biggest bloke out there, but he's really put his body in front, and he's caused a mistake there, which is great work.
They really do. Waikato in that set of 6, they really got dominated in the wrestle. They slowed that play the ball down, and they're just absolutely dominated. They need to fight for the speed to get up and play that ball quicker, or they need to play harder at the line and not turn the ball under.
Same up there. It's too close to pull. Too close to pull, mate.
That's another mistake there for Canterbury. Straight off the scrum. It's a knock on. 10 metres away from their line.
Let's go, boys. Hold in here, mate. Thanks, Cyrus. Hit him. Pull it, hit him. Pull it.
So this is a golden ticket here for Waikato. Kingi.
17 hands away.
That's a good tackle there by Brad Campbell.
Go, one.
Noda.
Short, mate, let him up.
There he is again. Campbell with a try saver. Karina. There's Verstappen. Timor-Latu, good job just to slow down the play of the ball. Back to Kingi. No real options to pass, but he gets the ball away. Second phase says Kepa can't get a grip on the balls. Play on, knock back there. Tahi Hohaya Mawson, but they're going backwards at Waikato. It's a little unstructured at this point. Karina looks to straighten up the ship.
Last one, Cyrus, get up. Just here, Bex. Don't go early.
All the way through Timor-Latu and Maliota. Noda, it's a good kick. Very, very smart play from the dummy half.
Great into it. Probably what you would call a bit of a scattered set all over the shop, that sort of set. But Malcolm Noda, just the presence to have the calmness and to put in a great kick there and reset it for their goal line attack here.
Jason, maybe about the 30. Okay, on the line behind us. Stay behind, fellas.
We're interested to see how this set pans out because, as you mentioned before, scattered set. Yeah, they are playing deep behind the line. I'd like to see them take the line on, play inside shoulder stuff, and really put pressure on the defence, make them make the decision instead of playing back a lot.
Hold here.
There's Piripi Parangi.
Go, one.
Tackle number 1. Noda drops the ball off the keeper.
Just here. Hold. Go, 2.
Couple of players still on the deck, shape to go right. Opes going left. Miscomms there. Hayden Karina. Ball goes astray, so it's another spoiled opportunity here for Waikato.
You see the inside ball is probably played in the favour of the Bulls at the moment, isn't it? Because they're spreading him and then dishing the ball underneath and unders play, and it suits going back into the middle, which they don't have to spread. So, yeah, probably playing that overs line would be a lot better. It did. The pass didn't work so well, but the option, that was the right option, not executed well.
It's another good run there by Ruben Talmo. Just easing the pressure off. They look to turn all the misfortune of the early exchanges into an attacking set, but again, it's another drop ball by Canterbury.
Watch it out, ball.
Tangi Thakipa has been very impressive in the first 40 minutes, but just a bad case of the dropsies early on in the second half for Canterbury.
Yeah, I think the boys are in there baby oiling up their bloody legs at half-time. I'm not too sure what's going on here, but once again, last week they had the same problem in the second half. That's why they sort of lost control of the game last week, you know, the ball control. Whereas I'd like to sort of see them, you know, get to a kick earlier and just get back in that rhythm like they did in the first, you know, 20, 25 minutes of that first half.
Certainly gifting the Waikato side the opportunity, aren't they? And to be honest, I think it'd be good to see the Waikato side come back and post some points, even this up. It's a nice little run there. Look at that.
Get to the side!
It's terrible by Murray. Scavenger, find any gap in the defensive line of Canterbury. And he has got a lot of speed, a lot of pace. Gudgeon will play the ball. Dead centre field. It's Kemper. Strong run, 10 metres collected on that header.
Hold in, wait. Go 4. Outside!
Wayne Sykes double pumps the kick and then puts it up high. But they've already shown Canterbury on multiple occasions you can have a good kick, but if your chase isn't as good, you can pay for it. Tovale, deadly with the ball.
Go 1.
Puts Canterbury on the front foot. Tangithaki Bowl escapes one defender.
Come here, buddy. Go 2.
Rana Dennis, 2 tackles in now, 35 metres out.
Stand and screw now!
They go into the engine room.
Go 3.
There's Talmor. Oh, it's a rocket pass out there by Backendale.
Forward, we've got a scrum. Forward.
They didn't hit the target.
Scrum.
Well, they weren't short in that instance, were they? They lined up very well there, the Waikato side on the left edge. Man for man. So they were certainly aware what their deficiencies were in the first half. Again, this is Slater-like, gentlemen. Outstanding. Making a real difference for this Bulls side. Carting the ball up, taking about 30 or 40 metres, and they're on the gun here with a great option here. The pass went astray. Good defence there from the Waikato side.
Ben Hayden.
So the limited time that Canterbury have had the ball in the second half, they've shown the indicators are there. If they can string it a couple of passages together, and Waikato could be in trouble, but at the moment they're their own worst enemy. Noda.
Move now! Keep coming towards. Don't go early.
Can't escape the clutches of Ruben Talmor and dummy half. There's a kick pinned into that corner, and that's where the advantage of the wind is blowing in that direction. Boy, the weight on the kicks has been fantastic, and Tovale. Seems as though the entire team were soaking in that baby oil, Louis. Everybody's dropping the ball in Canterbury.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, bro, but yeah, moisturiser, baby oil, liniment, deep heat, the works. Unlucky there from Tavali. He's had such an error-free game, and I think he was just looking for it to go dead there to get the 7 tackle set, but unfortunately the man's been doing bicep curls and hit those big arms of his.
All you league players have bicep curls, and you're one of them. That's a Warriors play, isn't it? They've been fantastic with that short kick out. They need to convert this now, Waikato side.
The amount of defence that Canterbury have done, they've been looked pretty solid defending their line. This Waikato, they really need to start capitalising on all this territory and the amount of ball they've had attacking the Canterbury try line. 22-6 is the scoreline, 52 minutes into the game. Noda goes by himself. Door just shuts on him right at the line. So here's Sepuloni and also Maliota closed the door on him. Kingi, little kick in behind the line. It's a good weight again, but good urgency shown there by Ben Ilalio.
Go, mate.
See the kick, the short kicking game. Kingi and Karina coming into play, particularly near close to the line. They're just unbelievable at getting that ball where they need it. The chase wasn't that great, but it's a good option there. And big Lalio, although he can score tries, he's good at reading the play.
Yeah, for Canterbury here, they probably haven't started this half that well with their sets. They're probably wanting to get just to a kick here or even a pity back a penalty. So, you know, they'll be looking just to find a rhythm now and spend some more time down in the Waikato half.
I'm not sure if they've completed a set yet. Canterbury in the second half.
They had a period last week, didn't they? A 20-minute period where they went astray. They weren't converting them. Now they're having one of those periods again, which would be pretty disappointing for Andrew Omatangi.
They're shown in the first half that they're not afraid to chance down. They're not afraid to let the ball go. As Louis Brown mentioned, might be time just to take a bit of stock and play a little bit more direct, a little bit more safe, just to get back into the rhythm of the game. Timor Latu. Powerful run out of dummy half as he demonstrated towards the back end of the first. He scored his try, brushing 6 Waikato defenders. Nice ball. Second one wasn't so good.
You probably didn't need to push the pass there. Taki Takambao, Brad Campbell for another great pass. Had numbers to burn, but probably just better off the way the game's gone in the second half, just to take the tackle and spend some time down here.
Yeah, it's certainly that patience element, isn't it? That's nice too. He held the ball up, fraction of a second, a forced pass. And again, they look scattered in that defence on the right-hand side. The winger coming up, or was it Hayden Karina coming up, pushing up, when he should have been staying back. So there's some real good opportunities for the Bulls to target again. They're making it very difficult.
Yeah, the carrot was there for Tangitaki Bai's ID that the 2 players on his outside, his teammates, were unmarked. Couldn't get the ball away.
Go. Good, Ruben.
So Waikato dodge another bullet.
Don't go with the roots. Wait, mate.
Todd, Tangitaki Bai, the tackle. Kepa. Back on the inside.
Here's 3 and hold, mate. Hold.
35 metres out.
16. No, Ruben. Play on, still 3.
Good offload in the tackle there, and good presence of Dwayne Sykes. Just hovering around the ruck area, looking for any opportunity, as does Malcolm Noda. Gets out, dummy half. There's a good phase here by Waikato. Starting to roll up the field, and there's some tired Canterbury bodies still trying to get back into the defensive line. They opt to go left. Nungopai Murray puts a kick in. Oh, this could be a great try, almost.
Wasn't that exquisite rugby league? Absolutely exquisite. The fact that they generated some ruck speed originally and used their assets in their team, from their hooker to their fullback, getting in there and generating real pace. That was just outstanding footy.
Yeah, very lucky there, Canterbury, to get away with that. Like you said, Rich, just direct, hard running, fighting to play the ball, and when you get the team backtracking like that, it's you're in danger.
Here's 2 and a hole, boys. Wait.
Oh, great urgency there. Jordan Tairakanen did everything he could to keep the ball in play for Te Rongopai Murray. Just didn't quite pan out.
Keep going, 3. Hey, stand up!
Good work there by Parangi. Marker. Campbell escapes one defender, then puts the ball up high. Tricky. Oh, that's really unfortunate. So I don't know if that was Dwayne Sykes or there was Taina Ngahiwi. But you mentioned it in the first half, Richie. It looks as though the sun might have played a factor and he just lost the ball.
No, I think clearly you see there he was looking at the player. He didn't have eyes for the ball at all. There is an issue with the sun, but his eyes were directly in traffic coming forward instead of on the ball, so it's pretty disappointing.
That error from the fullback Dwayne Sykes. He's had a good game for Waikato. It's going to put his team under extreme pressure. But the question is, it's not that they can't do it. Canterbury breaking the line and scoring against Waikato. It's just whether they have the patience to not force it. Tangitaki Bai The inside ball, he almost does it in just one tackle from Tovale. Baxendale. Rulon Nutira. Just gets clipped there by Irvan Watene. Baxendale. Ball playing back rower. Defense. Good read there by Hayden Kardina. They'll shift to the blind side. Matsoni. Good composure shown so far there by Waikato. They shift. Baxendale gets caught with the ball. Gudgeon.
Just here, mate. Don't go early.
This is the last tackle.
Go, nothing late.
Campbell punts the ball through. Good weight. Geez, the short kicking game from both teams has been really, really good.
Yeah, it's been great there. Once again, Canterbury was sort of, the set there was all over the shop, you know, not much direction, but Brad Campbell, a 19-year-old, to take it upon himself to finish the set well and get a repeat set.
I thought Waikato handled defensively extremely well, particularly pressuring Rise, the kicker, in a set before. And then the left edge here with the likes of Tairakina coming up and defending well and then going back for a repeat.
Very close to another error there for Canterbury, but Paul Soni seemed to have gone knocked back. So another raid here coming from the Bulls. And Big Todd just busts his way right up the middle, almost goes all the way, but trips up at the end. They're under pressure now on Waikato. Numbers to the left-hand side. Campbell opts to go short. To Tommy Thakibal, there were 3 players unmarked on the left. Waikato get a chance to regroup. Can they hold them out, crossing the line? Aleni Kakoi. Well, there was space to the left, but he thought it's a little bit closer going this way. Creeps over the line and scores the first try for Canterbury in the second half.
Yeah, a bit disappointing there for Waikato. They withstood the big shift, probably the nicer play to go to where Campbell went short. They defended that well, and then the middle kind of let them down there with the hooker just simple barge over try.
Certainly in 6 and 7s, aren't they, defensively, Waikato side? You saw Taina Nahiwi, who was notably on the right wing, coming in 3 or 4 deep. So they're all 6 and 7. This is a great run from Alex Todd to come through. He fell over, but he created sort of momentum, and then they went wide. Campbell there with a nice little short ball, and then he wraps around to play on. And here we go with a short play the ball again, going through. Expose the defence. The markers weren't in place. Great work there from the Bulls.
What about the run from Alex Todd? He probably saw more space than Neil Armstrong.
We talked about that high-impact forward pack off the bench for Canterbury, but the starters, Alex Todd, he can get it done as well. That is converted by Baxendale. So it's 28-6 now. Canterbury. It's taken them a little while to find their feet here in the second half. There's been a lot of errors, but they are the first team to score. And they push the lead out to 22.
We just like to see the Waikato side now put some pressure on and convert some opportunities into points. We've seen them been so good in that short ball, repeat sets. But I'd like to see them convert them and start to apply that pressure and that belief system that comes through by...
There has been some exciting, entertaining rugby league here at Christchurch Stadium, and that's exactly what you can expect in the Auckland rivalry between Akarana and Counties Manukau. That happens straight after this game, live on Sky Sports 2, 4 o'clock. Mount Smart Stadium 2. That will be the conclusion of round 2 of the New Zealand Rugby League National Premiership as Campbell busts through the line, escapes a couple of tacklers. Boys, he's got a lot of tools in the kit.
Okay, roll away. Take a step, mate. Hold on. Go, 3.
Could be one of the real finds here of this NZRL National Premiership 2018 tournament. Kakoi, it's a Sepuloni. Good defensive read there by Parangi. Short side attack. It's a very narrow corridor, but it's wide enough for number 3 Matsoni to go over.
Smart play there from Kakoi. Eyes up footy from a smart hooker. Saw there was a little 2-on-1 and a great finish there.
Good energy there in that set piece, wasn't it? Real energy. They took the right options. I like the short side play, and they converted it. It was a very determined effort there. They were very focused on the outcome of that set piece there.
We talk about a bit of the build-up work as well. Man, this guy's been in it. 19 years old, whether it's kicking defensively and now running with the ball.
Yeah, he's just come on last week, first game on this kind of stage, and he's taken another leap today. A young boy from the mighty Greymouth, and they've bred some great Kiwis in the past over there, and you know, people like Quinton Pongia and so on. So the young boy might find himself in higher honours in the years to come.
Just see the experience from Paul Soni too. He was the link in that play, and then he backed around and he put himself in a position to pass that ball to complete that set and finish off with a great try. Nice to see you mention the great man Quinton Pongia and Brett Stewart. As Hard and Southlanders, brilliant men.
This kick is just to the right. Interesting when you talk about West Coast Rugby League, and those two guys are prime examples, two of the toughest players they ever put on the black jersey. Yet you got this 19-year-old halfback who's coming at the same stop.
Good thing about it, you look at the body type too, he's quite chunky.
Yeah,
so he can handle the pressure of ammunition coming at him. So he's got a good thick, you can see his thighs are good chunky, and he just reads it nicely. And, you know, we don't want to say too much about a young player coming through. You don't want to put pressure on him, because it's a long way ahead. You know, it's amazing what a year can do, but good signs. I hope he continues it on.
And a trick shot there by one of the more experienced halfbacks, Hayden Carden, and Malcolm Noda almost came off, but it's at that stage now for Waikato where they have to chuck everything at Canterbury.
Take a step, 10, go, 10!
Dale, body slammed to the ground by Parangi.
All the way here, mate, don't go early. Go, 3, good work.
White in it. Tackle on Todders. Lutira.
Off the legs! Here's teammate. Go, 4, Mark is good. Thanks, buddy, 4.
Baxendale.
Last one, 15, come on, 11. Keep coming, mate. Don't go early, hold, go. Nothing late.
White in it, doubling up.
Okay, we'll go.
Another
Let's go,
tackle.
I'm happy.
Here's Campbell, puts the ball up high, and it's a good kick. Back 3 of Waikato. Having a really tough time dealing with these high aerial assaults from Campbell.
Struggling, Dwayne Sykes, isn't he, to contend that ball and get somewhere near the ball. And Lewis Brown picked up the style of play that we're about to see, and that's the heads and tails opportunity. Can you explain that a bit more, Louis?
Yeah, they haven't really, both sides haven't been really running many plays. You know, it's more through the guts and offloads, where in the NRL you see a lot of structure where they get to a point and then the half goes to the line with the back row and the sweeping play of the fullback. But in this grade, it's sort of more unstructured ad-lib footy that is creating the trouble.
Go, 2.
That's the type of style that Waikato were causing a little bit of trouble for Canterbury in their first half. Passages here at the second. They need to kick into overdrive on that if they want to have any chance of clawing back this big lead. 40-20 attempt. Well read there by Tovale, who links up with Will Yao. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, has Yao, but he's been impressive every time he has touched the ball. Not a big frame, but a lot of speed and quite a fair amount of strength. This guy, well, he's all strength. Massive. Ben Ilalil, first try scorer of this round 2 NZRL Premiership matchup. It's hard. Centres up the attack. Kakoi off to Nutira. Nutira bumps away from a couple, spins. He's still going. It's Nutira looking to link up. It's a shot in the ribs. Springs straight back up. That was from Gudgeon. They go out to the left side. They've been wanting to attack down here all second half, and they've just been stopped by Kingi. 2 metres short of the line. Good pressure. Karina, he can't stop the play. Sepuloni, he's isolated as Murray. Oh, good hands. Will Yao. No issues there from the referees or the touchies. It's a good try. Canterbury, they went down the left side and looked as though that they were about to get the business on there. But off the back of a kick, and a great set of hands there by Will Yao. It's a try in the right corner.
What an extraordinary set again. The back 3 for the Bulls, carting the ball up 30 metres, and then orchestrating the attack on the edges, and it all just stemmed from there. It was great play. There was some great defence from Waikato, who were able to take out the impact of their play. You see here, the last tackle here coming across. Look at that desperation coming across, and again, this kick from Sepuloni was fantastic, and the try, what an outstanding performance.
Canterbury. It's taken a little while in the second half, but boy, they've really kicked into overdrive. Probably the fatigue factor for Waikato isn't helping their cause, but really a strong position. Canterbury 36-6 with 10 minutes to go.
I think it just shows how potent Canterbury can actually be when they hold the ball. That set sort of had everything, like you said, Richie. You know, hard running from the back 3. The middle's got involved, and a nice swing out to the left. Brad Campbell into Baxendale, and then Toi Sepuloni with a great vision and a great kick for the winger to score.
Stay behind, fellas.
Gorgeous day here in Christchurch. Perfect conditions for rugby league.
Perfect conditions here. It'll be perfect conditions tonight when we watch the NRL. That's going to be a ripper on Sky Sports.
Who you backing, Rich?
The Mighty Roosters, I think, is my pick of the team. Just having that week off. Not the fact that I love the Roosters, the fact that having that week off, that little week off just to nurse those injuries. It's very hard for teams walking in with the injuries that sustain. Look at Cronulla, happened to them during that week, and it really did hurt them.
We'll revisit a little bit of that, talk about the NRL again. They'll be live on Sky Sports tonight. Second preliminary final between the Roosters and the Bunnies. Darren Kingi almost clutched that out. I was just about to say, Richard, the Roosters probably could have had their entire first grade team come down with the flu and then have to pull in their reserves, and you'd still be backing them. Because from a neutral perspective,
it's called player development.
Player development.
Player development. They nurse such a big area of a nursery that they've had for a long, long time.
Player development. I thought it was called brown paper bag.
Oh, come on. Do not.
You cannot tell me the Roosters have got a salary cap.
There's no way. There is absolute a salary cap.
Okay, fellas, we'll go now.
The Mighty Roosters will come through, and all you baggers or brown baggers.
Yep. It's all that player development they do in the juniors at the Roosters, eh? They're just
Uncle Nick, they call him.
They are a very impressive organisation, but Souths have been fantastic as well. We'll come back to get Lewis Brown's prediction on who will meet the Melbourne Storm in the NRL Grand Final just after this rate. Kakoi, 5 metres away from the Waikato line. Off to the left, Nutira, skip pass. Oh! 3 defenders there, but he's still able to find a way through. James Baxendale, who's been outstanding, gets himself on the scorer's sheet with another try and pushes Canterbury up to 40.
Yeah, Coach Umatangi would be very happy with the way they've sort of come into their groove the last 5 minutes. If you look at the set just after the last try, they went 100 metres and they had an opportunity to score, and the Waikato player hit it down, got to their set piece to scrum and shift out to the left. Baxendale, he's probably been one of the unsung heroes of the team. Really, real big captain's knock, and you know, too big, too strong there, and I'm backing him to kick the conversion from here too.
A true Cantab would say, Lutera, what a nice pass, just to get the ball in the place that was rightful. Now they had an option to go on the left-hand flank to score a try. A nice little inside ball. Baxendale, who's just been outstanding last season, just finished it off in great fashion, and again he's pivotal.
Go back to that 2014 year where Canterbury were national champions. He was part of that New Zealand residents team back then. He has been a mainstay of Bulls rugby league. He's showing signs that he hasn't slowed up at all. He's been really, really good today. 42-6 now.
Well, they booked themselves a final berth, don't they?
Essentially. Have to wait on some results, of course. Canterbury and, Counties and Akarana go head-to-head straight after this, and then there's one more round of preliminary play. So depending on how the cards fall with the Counties Akarana game. But either way, Canterbury are in the box seat at the moment for a finals spot.
Particularly with a 42-6 scoreline at the moment, will hold them in favour. But anything can happen in rugby league.
You've just been looking for Waikato to sort of finish the game off here, try and maybe get some positives to build into next week. They're back at home next week in Hamilton in front of their people, and you know, they've got 5 minutes here to really build some foundations for that game next week.
Yeah, it hasn't been the scoreline.
There he is.
Well, it might not be over just yet. Tovale, and how fitting that the number 7, Brad Campbell, young player with a bright future, also crosses the line.
Tavale, eh? Unselfish-like play too. Ball inside to Campbell, finishes it off.
Don't you just love the fact that they had a portion of 20 minutes which was very average. They turn it around and use their assets in the team. Look at Tavale, nice little left fend, and then looks, great vision to search for support. And look who it is, that 7, the player that we spoke about. And look at the skill here. And desperate call there to get to that white line. Fantastic word from Brad Campbell.
Again, it's just one of those indicators that he plays with a really old head. Usually, if you're young or what have you, it takes a person with a good football sense to understand to back up on inside play rather than just switching off and letting Tavale or thinking that he's going to score himself.
Yeah, I think this week at training, Coach Umatangi will probably get the message across to Canterbury saying that, you know, what you can do with the ball when you hold it and you complete sets is very potent, and you've got enough to sort of, you know, take this competition by storm. So they've come into their own the last 15-20 minutes, and when they hold the ball, you know, they've got a lot of game breakers like Tavale and Brad Campbell.
Rulon Nutit has really stepped it up in here in this later stages of the second half. His second phase play, it attracts a lot of attention at the defensive line, then the ability to offload.
Hands off! Just here, Malcolm.
Waikato haven't been able to stop that. I mean, I know Akarana will be getting ready for their big game because they want to book themselves into a final, but I'm sure they'll be doing a lot of tape analysis of this matchup for their big game against Akarana next week.
Go 3. Thanks, mate. 3. Passes now.
We also like that Brad Campbell sitting on the edge. Nice little play on the left-hand edge again, but Brad Campbell just sits on that left-hand edge, doesn't he? He searches, he waits, he finds an opportunity where there's a 3-on-2 and he exposes it. Look at this play here.
Oh, Elialo stretches out. That'll be good enough. And that brings up 50. 52 to be exact for Canterbury. First team to break the half-ton here in the 2018 NZRL National Premiership.
What I like about Brad Campbell, Richie, is I think he's a young boy, but he's got a mature head, and I think he realises what kind of strike he has outside him. He likes to give them the early ball and let them sort of do what they can do. And as you see there, he's a nice early ball to his outside backs, and they finish it off nicely.
Kakoi also exploiting some opportunities around that ruck area. But a lovely play. Mentioned before, Lewis Brown, there's so many strike weapons out there, so maximise it.
Last minute of play here at Christchurch Stadium. Baxendale's kick just drifts to the right side of the post. So 52-6 is the scoreline. Just a dominant performance here by Canterbury, who hasn't been a picture-perfect performance in regards to their handling and some of the discipline with the football. But as you both have mentioned, it just goes to show how good they can be when they can hold on to the ball.
And they're genuine contenders. I think that last 20 minutes highlighted that. And they need to be if they're going to compete against the guns that have won it. Akarana for the last couple of years, News Counties Manukau, who are awfully strong in that department too. So this is a good signal.
To be a long flight home for the Waikato boys after this matchup. Plenty to consider for Morgan Kutia as they get into their last game of the 2018 representative season. They'll take on Counties next week. Then it'll be the big showdown, Canterbury and Akarana.
Power, fellas. That'll do, mate.
And there's the final whistle. An impressive performance by the home team. The Canterbury Bulls with an exclamation mark at the end of 80 minutes. 52 points over Waikato 6 to essentially claim their spot in the 2018 National Premiership final. Stick with us right after the break. We will analyse the full game as well as have interviews right here on your home of rugby league.